Good morning, boys. I am your chemistry teacher, Subroto. Today we talk about the chapter 7 chemical reaction. Already you get two lecture of this chapter. Today we finished our chapter and then we go to the next chapter. Uh, in my last two lecture we already discussed about some reaction. Today's lecture is about reaction, types of reaction, and so on. Then the first chemical reactions, types of chemical reactions are synthesis reaction. In this reaction, two or more reactant combine to make a new product. We already know some reaction, production of water, production of carbon dioxide, and production of sulfuric acid. In this reaction, carbon and oxygen react to produce carbon dioxide. Water and sulfur trioxide carbon dioxide and production of carbon dioxide is occurred by reaction of carbon and oxygen and production of sulfuric acid is occurred by water and sulfur trioxide. Here the two reactions are given, and another reaction is decomposition reaction. A single reactant breaks down to form two or more products. In that reaction, one compound is break and produce two or more compound. Production of water and carbon dioxide from carbonic acid and production of calcium oxide and carbon dioxide from calcium carbonate. Here the two reaction is given. Then we go to the next slide. In this slide, single replacement reaction and double replacement is discussed. In single replacement reaction, one element is replace another ion or another element from a compound. When zinc is react with copper sulfate, it will produce zinc sulfate and copper. Here the reaction is given, and in the double replacement reaction, two ionic compound exchange ion produce two ionic compound. In that reaction, sodium chloride and silver nitrate react one another and produce sodium nitrate and silver chloride. Here, one sodium is replaced silver and produce sodium nitrate, and silver will produce silver chloride. And another reaction is given. HCl react with sodium hydroxide and it will produce sodium chloride and water. Then we go through a combination reaction. In that reaction, oxygen is react with another element and produce energy. The definition is given below. A single element or compound combines with oxygen gas releasing energy. This reaction is called combination reaction. The example is given. Next slide is hydrolysis reaction. In hydrolysis reaction, water is used to break down a bond of particular compound. The example is given. When methyl ethanoate react with water and it will produce methanoic acid and methanol. The reaction is given in the picture. It is the methyl ethanoate and this is ethanoic acid and it is methanol. The next reaction is hydration reaction. In hydration reaction, a substance combined with water. It is occurred in organic chemistry. The production of methanol, ethanol, isopropyl alcohol, etc. is the reaction of hydration reaction. Example is given. When ethene react with water, it will produce ethanol, and this reaction is called the hydration reaction. The next slide is about polymerization reaction. In polymerization reaction, a small molecule called monomer combine chemically to produce very large chain like network molecule, and these are called polymer. This reaction is called polymerization reaction. In polymerization reaction, the small compound is called the monomer. 2 or 3 monomer attach one another and produce a polymer. This reaction is called polymerization reaction. Reaction are given below. When 3 monomer of ethene react one another and produce polyethene, the reaction is given. Chemistry in our daily life. We know many chemical reactions in our daily life that are occurred in outside our eye. The chemical reaction in our daily life are given below. The first one is rust in iron. All of we know about the rust. When a iron metal contact with water and oxygen, it will produce a chemical reaction which is ferric oxide and water, n molecule of water. This is called rust. All of you know the chemical formula of rust. Then we go the prevention of corrosion of copper and aluminium. Copper, this reaction is occurred through electroplating. When we use a active metal and this is corroded by the environment, then we plate some non-active metal over it, and this reaction is called electroplating. Relief from bite of ants and bee. We know ants and bite have the poison like basic or acidic compound. If any ants and bee bites, we use calcium carbonate to reduce the pain. Energy production through respiration. We all of know that energy is produced through our respiration system. Glucose is burned and produce carbon dioxide and energy. Another chemical reaction in our daily life is natural gas as fuel. We use this natural gas to to produce heat, and we use this heat for the production or cook our food. This reaction are we see in our daily life. The next slide is about rate of reaction. The amount of product produced from the reaction per unit time is called rate of reaction. Another topic is about last atelier principle. It's an important topic for your learning, because this last atelier principle is needed in your class and the higher study. It is applied in chemical equilibrium or equilibrium reaction. In equilibrium, when a reaction occurred, if we applied some heat, pressure or change of concentration, what is happened in the reaction is discussed in this principle. The principle is given below. In that principle, the particular starting of, if we applied constant change of pressure, temperature and concentration of a reactant is applied to the system in equilibrium, the equilibrium will shift so as to tend to counteract the effect of constant. That means when we applied pressure in equilibrium, the pressure will reduce by the reaction is changed. If we applied heat in the equilibrium system, the reaction will change to reduce the heat, and we use or change the concentration of the reactant in which is in equilibrium. The reaction may change to reduce the concentration. Effect of heat, effect of pressure and effect of concentration is discussed in our next slide. Okay. Okay, here we talk about the last atelier principle. Here we discuss this principle, show some example. Applied of heat, a reaction nitrogen plus hydrogen, 3 molecules will produce 2 molecules of ammonia plus heat. So it's a exothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, the forward reaction is exothermic and the backward reaction is endothermic. That's why if we applied heat in the equilibrium, the heat is used in the backward reaction. That's why the reaction of decomposition ammonia is occurred to produce nitrogen plus hydrogen. if we withdraw some heat from that reaction, the forward reaction is increased and production of ammonia is increased. Here we discuss the change of heat in a equilibrium reaction. Applied of pressure. A reaction dinitrogen tetraoxide will produce nitrogen dioxide. For the change of pressure, we have to know the molecule of product and the molecule of reactant. If we applied heat in the in the equilibrium time, the production is go through, or the reaction is go through, where the number of molecule is lower. Here, if we applied heat, the backward reaction is increased and production of dinitrogen tetraoxide is increased, and if we withdraw pressure, the production of nitrogen dioxide is increased. That means the forward reaction is increased. Applied of concentration. Applied of concentration is very simple and very easy. If we increase the concentration of the forward reaction, the reaction rate is increased in forward reaction and the backward reaction is decreased. That means if we increase the nitrogen hydrogen, the forward reaction is increased and production of ammonia is increased. And if we increase the amount or concentration of ammonia, then the backward reaction is increased and the production of nitrogen hydrogen is increased. That means backward reaction rate is increased. It is the change, or it is the change of concentration in a equilibrium process. That's all, my dear student. Please go through the lecture and memorize it through your main book and be prepared for your exam. Please solve some problem from your test paper, which is needed for your own need. Thank you. Be safe and stay in your home. Thank you.